Did you know that the list of kings of England and Britain is actually wrong? You see, if you take a look there, you'll notice Edward VIII, but that just isn't right. There should actually be 10 Edwards, so let's take a look at the history. You see, the Edward we commonly refer to as Edward I is this guy, Edward Longshanks, who reigned from 1272 until 1307. And the last Edward is Edward VIII, who reigned for just under a year in 1936. However, this couldn't be more wrong. You see, if we go from 927, the year when England is said to have become an established unified country, and not just from 1066, then the first King Edward is this guy, Edward the Martyr, who reigned from 975 until 978. And he's known as the Martyr because the poor chap was killed by supporters of his half-brother at Corfe Castle. But Edward the Martyr should officially be known as Edward I. Now, Edward had a nephew known as Edward the Confessor, who realistically again should be known as Edward II. And so Longshanks should be Edward III, and Edward VIII should be known as Edward X. So what's the actual reason for this being incorrect? Well, you see, during the Middle Ages, numbering monarchs wasn't all that common like it is today. And during his lifetime, Edward was just simply known as King Edward or Edward the son of Henry. It was only after his son, also called Edward, became king that the chroniclers decided they needed a way to differentiate between the two, and so Edward Longshanks became Edward I and his son became Edward II. And again, stuff that happened before 1066 for medieval chroniclers wasn't really all that important. But realistically, when we talk about the kings of England and later the kings of Great Britain, there should be 10 King Edwards. I hope you enjoyed.